Top 10 Surprising Facts About Rich People. No one adjusts 100% to their social gathering. Be that as it may, a sweeping perspective can cover the pack's attributes in general terms. The rich individuals cover a company's odd convictions and propensities. From feeling that the poor are more joyful than them to smoking their cigarettes in an unexpected way, the universe of the well-off is unquestionably not boring. 10 Things rich people do that you don't. Top 10 Rich kids are higher risk for drugs. There is a confusion that compulsion is a sign of poor people. Medications and liquor influence individuals from all foundations, yet rich children are more in danger. One may be pardoned for scrutinizing this. What do they need to stress over? They have their horses and huge recompenses. Outcasts regularly accept a rich child popping ecstasy as carrying on of fatigue. A recent report found that was not the situation. The genuine explanation is tragic and has pulverizing consequences. For years, the scientists followed many understudies starting with their secondary school years. Every student had well-off guardians with a high standing and their schools demanded high accomplishments. Notably, the weight was excessively. Medications and hitting the bottle hard turned into a method for dealing with stress. At the point when they grew up and began their own lives, the weight evaporated, however not the medication use. It turned out to be more terrible. By age 26, their addictions were multiple times higher than the national average. Top 9 They are less giving. In 2018, a gathering played for genuine cash. They assembled at a London college and were partitioned into higher status and lower status players. This reflected how much cash every individual got at the game's beginning. The game had a straightforward objective. Every player gave cash to a gathering kitty. They were allowed to choose how a lot. After a round or two, the cash was part between everybody. A player's riches could develop either through possibility or difficult work. The individuals who earn their cash end up being the Scrooge McDucks of the gathering. They included the least. Things were not as childish as they showed up. The poor members had less to lose. Adding more cash to the kitty was additionally their method of urging the rich folks to do likewise. This expanded their odds for a greater return. Be that as it may, the huge fish would not chomp. They had more to lose, and the individuals who earned their riches had even less motivation to simply give it away. Top 8 They waste cigarettes. In 2008, understudies in New Zealand gathered proof for an investigation. They looked somewhat bizarre at the same time. The gathering visited 6 neighborhoods in Wellington and got more than 3,500 cigarette butts. While the earth expresses gratitude toward them, the genuine point was to see whether pay changes the way individuals smoke. One kind of cigarette indicated something very similar, paying little mind to the suburb it originated from. Rich and poor smoked roll your possesses down to a similar length. Be that as it may, cigarettes produced in production lines or customized for a first-class client double-crossed the pay of the smokers. The remaining tobacco was scooped from the butts and estimated. More unfortunate smokers, with less to spend, decimated their cigarettes down to the butt. Then again, the wealthier rural areas disposed of their cigarettes with 75% increasingly unused tobacco. Top 7 They are more dishonest. The affluent have exceptional stalkers. These generous creepers are clinicians, and they have been following the rich for quite a long time. The explanation? To perceive what benefit does to the human brain. The general view is that it preps individuals to appreciate the advantages of dishonesty. Researchers took their notepads to a bustling crossing point. The 4-way was administered by option to proceed. The group noticed the model of the vehicles that cut off different drivers. Selfish drivers showed up from the 2 sides of the social fence. However, new, costly vehicles were multiple times bound to overlook the way that it was not their chance to drive. The specialists at that point moved their gaggle to a crosswalk where people on foot had the option to proceed. Each modest or old vehicle halted. Half of the costly vehicles overlooked them. In fact, they overstepped a law. Drivers must stop for individuals who need to cross. Elsewhere, the measurements are considerably starker. The well-off cheat more on their mates, their assessments, and at games. They likewise have the moolah to purchase stuff, yet are bound to shoplift. Top 6 Rich women choose older men. Previously, riches was slanted in support of men. Therefore, ladies picked suppliers and men put more significance on appealing looks. Both favored a more youthful accomplice. As ladies become more extravagant, they carry their own money-related security to the relationship. They no longer look to men as suppliers, however what good-looking like they may be. Additionally, they need more seasoned men. This current pattern's fame even instituted a name, the George Clooney effect. This squashed the misguided judgment that rich ladies act like men. At the end of the day, lean toward a toy boy as an accomplice. This female move additionally changed how first-class men like their ladies. As per an ongoing overview, they favor considerably more youthful young ladies than before. 5-10 Obscene and ridiculous things the rich do with their money. Top 5 Their old age is longer and healthier. The best advantage of riches could be a more drawn-out life. Aside from seeing 100 years very close, the high society older likewise appreciate more long periods of being truly autonomous. Researchers unearthed this astonishing certainty when they looked at the strength of more seasoned grown-ups in the US and England. Both nations demonstrated something very similar. After age 50, rich ladies could expect 33 greater incapacity-free years and 31 for men. They could cook for themselves and get up, things the least fortunate networks begin battling with 9 years earlier. There are islands where individuals develop old without a fat ledger. This demonstrates lifespan as a mind-boggling mixed drink of qualities: mentality, diet, and exercise. The exceptional contrast saw in the US-England study included riches as another distinct factor. It lessens pressure, which is probably the most concerning issue for well-being. Individuals with assets can likewise go to clinics and pay for medications that keep up a decent nature of life. Top 4 Wealthy parents cheat for their kids. In 2019, the specialists shut down a trick. Before the feds got wind of the wrongdoing, times were beneficial. Guardians offered a hardened incentive to ensure a spot at world-class colleges for their youngsters. By and large, about $6.5 million were paid to the con artists. 2 of the guardians got with their turn in the treat container were entertainers Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman. Moral therapists were not astounded. The well-off frequently live through their youngsters' accomplishments. Moreover, the rich are progressively encountering class anxiety. More individuals are accessing their selective world and seeing the lower-pay kids swarm first-class foundations as an unpleasant pill to swallow. Many elites accept they are better than every other person. They merit the principal cut of the pie. This privilege drives their dishonest decisions, which is then legitimized here and there. In the payoff case, the guardians utilized the reason that they were helping their child. Top 3 Some believe poor people are happier. Individuals with higher salaries have an inquisitive, vulnerable side. Some believe that lower salary people are really more joyful. Anybody with a vacant secret stash realizes the inverse is valid. To be reasonable for the vulnerable side, it was pulled from a little study. The 2007 survey barred men for reasons unknown as well. In any case, basically the greater part of the wealthier ladies accepted that the remainder of the populace experienced less pressure. The explanation? The top workers saw themselves as busier. This is an extremely restricted perspective on what causes pressure. Yet the review was upheld to a certain extent by other social examinations. They recommended the rich now and then favor a blushing perspective on reality to feel less regretful about their benefits. The less good shock they feel, the less inspiration there is to help other people. This could clarify why individuals with the money-related clout to change the world do nothing. Top 2 They pay less attention to others. A great many people will in general feel undetectable around the rich and groundbreaking. Things being what they are, this inclination isn't their creative mind. The high society has a propensity for overlooking everyone around them. All the more explicitly, any individual who is underneath them socially and financially. In 2016, researchers tried to pass off a flagrant deception to volunteers. In 2 separate examinations, they were informed that they were either trying new innovation or playing a memory game. The lying was essential. They could scarcely tell the more extravagant volunteers that they were being read for this strange trait. One bunch wore brilliant glasses that recorded all that they saw. While being under the impression of testing the gadget, each volunteer strolled down a road. The princely ones invest less energy taking a gander at bystanders from lower classes. Higher class members additionally battled with the memory game since they neglected to focus on pictures indicating faces. The elite probably won't understand how regularly they do this. People focus on dangers or potential dangers. To the tip top, the lower classes are not a risk nor fulfilling. At the end of the day, nothing intriguing to look at. Top 1. They overestimate their worth. There is nothing amiss with having fearlessness. Yet, individuals from princely families may overestimate their capacities. Far more atrocious, others trust them. The outcomes just serve the enthusiastic rich individual. They excel in prospective employee meetings regardless of that others are similarly fit. The individuals who succumb to their certainty may likewise later understand that they recruited an inappropriate person. This was the finish of researchers who examined credit applications and prospective employee meetups. Both included tests where wealthier candidates figured they did extraordinary. They really performed normal. Those with lower salaries were more on top of their own scores, however it neglected to give them the edge. As referenced before, the elite's certainty dazzled the cash banks and recruiting operators. This is an issue. Such individuals offer better opportunities to other people. On the off chance that they succumb to presumptuousness in candidates who accept they rock, at that point this could clarify why those with class and certainty issues fall behind, in spite of being as similarly as competent. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks.